It's early in the regular season for men's college basketball, and we're sitting down with Gonzaga's Tyon Grant-Foster. Gonzaga's Tyon Grant-Foster. That has to feel good to hear.
Nah, it's amazing. It's just, after everything, I'm just glad to be here, really grateful.
So there's kind of an element of like a storybook, fairy tale kind of thing. I'm saying this from the outside because we don't want to sell short, your emotion and the things that have happened. But when you come back in these dramatic situations and have such early success, I mean, that has to feel amazing.
I mean, it does. Like you said, it adds to, the story and everything. It's just, sometimes it doesn't feel real, just everything that goes on, that went on, and everything that I've been through just throughout my life period, I'm just glad God, blessed me to, end my career here.
Yeah. So going back to before your collapse at DePaul, early in your college career, whether it was at Indian Hills or Kansas, wherever, did you ever have an inkling, a feeling that there was something wrong?
Nah, never anything that felt wrong or felt weird. So when it happened, I was just really surprised because I didn't know what was going on, literally. When I was at halftime and I was laying down, it was I just felt like I got lightheaded and passed out. And I woke up and they told me stay down or whatever. And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm thinking everything's okay. I think I just got lightheaded, but it wasn't the case, so.
Can you walk me through not just that moment, but how that night went from that moment on?
I really didn't know what was going on, the trainer, he was with me the rest of the night, So we got in the ambulance, we went to, I think it was Northwestern. I think we went to Northwestern. And, I just stayed there. And he just told me, when he literally was sitting when I kind of realized everything that happened, he was sitting in the chair and then he just started getting emotional and I was confused. He was like, nah, I was holding you in my arms and you didn't have a heartbeat. Yeah, so it was that's when I kind of realized everything that was going on. So it was, everything didn't hit me at that moment, so it was just, I kind of didn't believe it at first, but until all the doctors and everybody had to come in and they told me what was going on, so.
Mark View's not one to get overly emotional, but before the ruling in your situation, he said he died twice. This is a unique situation. When you hear someone that so passionately is advocating for you and saying, no, this story is different, it's special, what emotion does that kind of bring about in you?
It just gives me joy, to see I've only known Coach Few for a couple of months, and the fact that, he advocated for me and just fought for me in so many ways. It really means a lot to me, It's not really something that you could just express over words, because just knowing someone for this short of a time and being able to do the things that he's done for me is just amazing.
And so he used the term that you died.
Yes.
You said your heart stopped.
Yes.
So you technically died.
Yes.
Just hearing that, saying that, unreal.
Nah, yeah, it is. It is, but that's why I have a tattoo on my arm. It says God's gift on the inside. It says God's gift, and ever since that situation, my family just tells me you're one of God's favorite, because if he didn't want you here, you wouldn't be here right now. So I always just hold that chip on my shoulder that, regardless of what I'm going through, I know that God got me.
So you talk about when your trainer got emotional, that was in the hospital, you were in a room and everything at that point?
Yeah, I think it was I don't know if it was a waiting room or what it was, but I was I wasn't in I was on the first floor. I think it was an ER. I think that's what it was. I had my own bed, my own room and everything, and he was sitting across from me. I was in the bed right here and he was sitting across from me like you are. And he just started getting really emotional, and I was just asking what was wrong, and he was like, yeah, I was holding you in my arms and you died, you didn't have a heartbeat and everything. So And I really want to give a huge shout out to the AD that is at DePaul right now, because when my situation happened, that was the first year that they were had paramedics on the scene, you know. Yeah, like that was the first year that they had them there. So if they weren't there, you know, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. So I really want to give a shout out to him for that.
So he basically had to tell you what happened. I mean, how scary was that to hear?
I mean, like I said, when if I'm being completely honest with you, when everything happened, like I didn't really process everything. I didn't process everything until like a year or so after everything had happened. Just realizing like, you probably wouldn't. There was a chance that you wouldn't be here today, you know, and just realizing like how much that would affect not just me, obviously, but the people around me, you know, my loved ones, my mom, my brothers, and everything. That was what really like hit me. You know, it just gave me a different aspect on life, you know, a different look on it, you know. So I try my best to just live my life every day, you know, because you never know, especially, everyone doesn't go through what I go through, so everybody's perspective is different, you know, so they may do things different, but I just try my best every day just to have fun or just be happy.
How did that work with your family? Were they at the game when that happened, or what was your contact like with them?
No, they weren't at the game. They were at home. So I think Coach Terrence Crump was my coach at the time. I think he called home and told everybody what was going on, because it happened at halftime, so I didn't end up going back out to the game or with anybody. I went straight to the hospital. And I didn't have my phones, I didn't have anything, so everybody was calling me and trying to see what was going on and everything, but I didn't have any of my stuff, so I didn't know. But I think Coach Crump, he was the one who called and gave everybody the news and let them know what happened.
Wow. How has that been for your family? I mean, you said it like it's something that affects the people around you as well.
I mean, like you said, when it first happened, like it was, like my whole family was just like crazy. Like my mom and my dad came up like immediately. Like I think they left. I think it's like an 8-hour drive from Chicago to Kansas City. Mm-hmm. So they left like 4 in the morning. I think like 3, 4 in the morning and came up. So they were with me the next day for like, I think they were with me like the next week and a half, 2 weeks. They stayed there with me. So yeah. But you know, I feel like it's giving my family, you know, a different aspect, just a view on everything, you know, because, you know, I have a lot of brothers, younger brothers, and like they tell me all the time, like the stuff that you've been through, most people can't go through that, you know, so it's like that motivates them, you know, because they ask me like, how was it coming back, you know, like the fear if it will ever happen again, but I told them like, I just trusted God, you know. Once I went through my very last doctor's appointment with Dr. Ackerman, and he told me I was clear to go. And shoot, I just trusted him, and then I trusted the Lord. And I mean, obviously I had to take things slow. I couldn't just go full throttle, so I had to take things slow. But I just tried not to think about it, because it was like a wall that you put up. I don't think I would have ever been able to get back to playing basketball at the level that I can if I would have been thinking about if it was going to happen again. Because if you put that wall up, it's like you're just going to keep constantly hitting. You're going to be afraid to run hard. You're going to be afraid to do anything that caused it to happen, you know. So I just said, sure, I put my faith in the Lord, and I just let him have it. I just decided to not think about it. I tell people, sometimes I try my best to act like it never happened, just off the strength of, I don't want that to be like the center of why everyone knows me, you know? So I try to forget about it at times.
When they diagnosed you with arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy, mm-hmm. Got that right? Practiced. I mean, I've never heard of that before. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you had any previous knowledge. What have you learned about that and kind of your health over the past 4 years?
I mean, I've changed a lot of things about my health. So, excuse me, I'm not a red meat guy. I stopped eating red meat, you know, because it's like kind of clogs the arteries and everything. So I just know something about my condition is I have to have like very good blood flow, you know, so I just try to do everything that I can to make sure, like, I try to stay hydrated because that helps with it. You know, I just try to do everything I can to just prevent it, which I know it won't happen again, but, you know, just in case, you know. So I just try to do everything I can to make it not happen.
Something that I hadn't heard a lot about until the final hearing was the stim machine incident that happened. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So that is, that happened twice while I was at Grand Canyon, yes. And I don't want to blame anyone for anything, you know, people, you know, and yeah, it was just a mistake that was made by some people there, you know, and it kind of caused me to have to, you know, come back to school a little bit just off of certain things. But, you know, like I said, it was just a mistake that was made while I was at Grand Canyon, you know, and everyone makes mistakes. So I don't hate anyone there for it, you know, but, you know, that's it. Just mistakes that were made, that's all. And
is it that you can't use stim machine treatment at all, or is it just like certain places you can?
I don't know if it's certain places that I can or I can't. I just don't think I should use it at all. Okay. You know, so like it was, the second time it happened, I did not know like the machine that was being used on me had stim, because we had, after it happened, the first year I was at GCU, we had came to an agreement that I just don't need to use it at all, you know. So the second year that it happened, I didn't know that the machine that was being used on me had stim on it, because if I did, of course, I would not have, you know, let them use it on me. But yeah, so it was just, that's all, just mistakes.
And what happens when you use it? Or what happened in these situations?
In these situations, it's just, I mean, after the first time it happened, it's just the same thing. So the device I have is connected to my chest. So it is strictly for, how can I put this? It's just in case my rhythm is off, you know, it shocks me and it sets my rhythm back on place. And when the stim is connected to my body, I don't know if it is like amplifying the shock or whatever it is, but it'll shock me and then like I can feel it throughout my whole body. That's all.
Okay. Do you normally, just out of curiosity, stim machine aside, if you needed to be shocked, do you feel that when that happens, or is it just like a, do you know what I'm saying?
So
the machine that's right now.
Yeah, okay.
Is it actively, like your condition?
No,
is that in case another collapse?
It's just in case. Okay. It doesn't do it at all.
So you haven't had it have to work, okay.
Yeah,
I hope you don't.
Yeah, I haven't had anything happen.
Okay. That's really frustrating. That happened.
No, it is, you know, but I was, you know, I don't want to ruin anybody's, you know, career or anything over it. You know, like I said, people make mistakes, you know, and I'm just grateful that, you know, God gave me another chance to do the things that I need to do to get to where I want to go, you know, so that's all.
You have every reason to be frustrated. Why, what is it about you that what makes you forgive, I guess?
I mean, the Lord, you know, if you read the Bible, you know, like He forgives us every day. We sin every single day. So if we can't forgive someone, how do we expect Him to forgive us? You know, so that's just what I lean on every day.
Why Gonzaga?
The culture, Coach Few, the competition, winning, you know, it's a lot of things. But I would say just being able, like I said, the level that I want to reach, Coach Few's been around those players. You know, he's coached those players. The track record, he has numerous guys that played in the NBA for a numerous amount of years, you know, so it's just like, why not? You know, come play for a guy like Coach Few, come play for a great organization like this. You know, it's just, I just feel like it was just the right thing to do. You know, playing at the highest level, like our next 6-7 games are just, you know, the teams that I want to play against every night. You know, so it just made the most sense.
At what point did you figure out you wanted another year of eligibility to get where you want to be for the future?
If I'm being completely honest with you, my dream was not to play college basketball this long. It was not. It was, I mean, yes, I'm grateful to be here, obviously, no question, you know, but my dream is to play in the NBA. You know, that's what I've been dreaming since I was a kid, you know. And there was times where, I mean, there were conversations that were had, but I just felt like me having another year of eligibility just off the strength of my year I had last year, coming into this year would just be so much better for my future that I want to go into.
Obviously, that led into the whole debacle, we'll say, with the NCAA. What was the most frustrating part of just that entire eligibility situation to you?
To me, I was just, it's the only thing I'm going to say about this after this. I was just confused on how they said my circumstances weren't extraordinary. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing that confused me there. But yeah, I just don't see people that go through what I go through every day like that's normal. So, but that's all.
It's hard not to compare. I mean, you hear stories of just when your stuff was going on, I heard people referencing, oh, so-and-so down the road got a year for X, Y, and Z, or so-and-so over here. I'm sure you heard a lot of those stories. Is that really hard to be like, why am I not getting this if they are?
I mean, yes, but no, at the same time, because everything's different. You know, I felt that my situation was very much different than theirs, you know, just like I said, just because everything that we have talked about since we've been here. But I just tried to focus on my stuff, you know, because reading it into everybody else's, that will add on to the stress that you already have. It's like, oh, well, this guy got this. Like you said, why am I not? You know, how could they do this to me? But, you know, so I just tried to focus on my stuff and what I had going on.
In the midst of the up and down, the roller coaster and back and forth that it all was, you posted something saying, what did I do? Why are they so against me? I'm being punished for a situation I had no control over. What am I supposed to do after this? This is bigger than a sport to you.
Yeah. I was more so just wondering why, because like I said, I don't want anyone, I'm not trying to blame anyone for anything that happened, but like, sometimes I feel like ever since my situation happened, I haven't really always had full control over my life, you know? I've always had to wait until someone else says I can do something for me to, you know? So it's just like I'm being punished for something that I had no control over. Like I did nothing wrong. I did nothing but live, and I'm getting punished for it, you know? So it just, sometimes it's just like, it's kind of hard to grasp everything, and I don't know how others think. I don't know what their opinions are on it, but you know, sometimes it does get kind of hard just to think about that. And in that moment, I just needed to let something out. You know, it was just hard to keep it all in at that time. So that's all it was.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like during the process, especially towards the end, you're pretty open about that it was affecting you mentally. The attorneys said that. I'm trying to think if someone else did, but and how could it not?
Yeah.
Right. what was that like for you during?
I mean, it did affect me. It was just, I was just so confused on some of the things that went on, which, like I said, I'm not, you know, they have, at the NCAA, you know, they have their job to do as well, you know, so, I mean, I can't really blame them for certain things, but, you know, it's just a whole lot. I was just confused on certain steps that they took when they did certain things, that's all.
Again, a long drawn out process, a lot of ups and downs. Did you, in that final hearing, it was like, how many hours? I mean,
2.5.
2.5
hours.
Longer than we all thought.
Yeah.
Really brutal. Did you think it was going to be in your favor?
I mean, from what I talked to my attorneys and everything about, you know, they were very confident. So that helped me and made me very confident, you know. So, you know, but there was still that what if, because you never know, you know, when you go in there, nothing's 100%, you know. So I just went, everything was just going there, a positive mindset, you know, and my thing was, God always has the last say so, you know. So I just kept my faith in the Lord, you know. So
how did it feel seeing your, I guess they weren't technically your teammates at the time, but your teammates lined up there in the courtroom? Oh
no, those guys were, it was amazing, you know, because they you know, they didn't have to come, you know, they didn't, but you know, that they wanted to. Jalen, Steele, B. Smith, you know, those are all my guys. So I really appreciate them. You know, that, like I said, that just shows how invested they were in this, you know, but not just our coaches and not just like my attorneys and everyone, but like literally the whole university here was invested. And that's why I'm like so grateful. And I can't show more gratitude for them.
You're understandably a little emotional when they, you know, finally made the ruling. What was going through your mind, like immediately in the moment?
I was just like, I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was just happy. I was happy that all this, like you said, this long process was over. I wanted to go play in the game. That was really it. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go play. So that was it. But yeah, I was just ready to go play, and I was just happy that it was done with, you know. Did you know beforehand if they said that you had another year, if you would play that night? Like, was there a situation where they'd be like, no, you haven't practiced in a while, you should probably? Nah, Coach Few asked me, he said, do you want to play? I was like, yes, because I haven't practiced, it was like a week and a half since I practiced with the team. And he was like, you just sat in the courtroom for 2.5 hours. So he asked me if I wanted to play, so I was like, yeah, I want to play, you know. I just want to be out there with the guys for real. That was the thing that I really wanted to do. I just wanted to be back with them. And then you scared everybody twisting your ankle. Oh, yeah. Bad. Bad. We don't have to get into that. No. We were all nervous. Who was your first call after? Oh, my mom. Called my mom. But it was so crazy because the first call I made was to my mom, but the first call that I had was from my best friend and my cousin, because like them two, they like through this whole process, like they knew like I was going through it, you know. So like anytime I would call, like it'd be 3, 4 in the morning, I called them, they're picking up the phone. It was one night I literally called them. And I literally just played Drake music for like an hour and a half, and they just sat on the phone and listened to it with me. That was it. So them two were the first people to call me though. But they knew before I was going in, and my best friend was like, I was just looking every time on Twitter. I was just refreshing. And she said as soon as they said it was good, she literally called my phone. But I had to turn my phone off, so I didn't do it. As soon as I turned my phone on, like the calls are like coming in. So yeah, but it was a great feeling. You talked about your mom a decent amount. Obviously, it's hard living across the country, I'm sure. But just how has she been able to support you, and what's you guys' relationship like? Mom is my best friend, you know. That's my best friend. So it's like, She supports me in every way that she can. You know, she wanted to come to the game yesterday, but obviously it was like too late of a notice for us. But yeah, she's gonna be here soon, so you guys will see her. But nah, she is really the reason I am like so strong in my faith and everything. You know, like we've been through so much as a family just outside of my situation, you know, and she's always kept her faith strong, you know, and just leaning on her and the strength that she has and that she passed on to me is really something that like I'm just so grateful for, just because it's just so much stuff that without her, and I don't think I would have been able to get through it. So that's my rock right there. She's my everything.
So what's she like in the stands? Is she like nervous, like biting her nails, quiet, or is she yelling, screaming, cheering you on? What's her basketball
in
mom
the stands, I don't know. She's cheering, but she's like sitting down the whole time. But like she's cheering, unless like I like hit a big shot or I dunk it, then she'll stand up or something. But other than that, she's pretty calm. She's pretty chill. She isn't like. Now my dad, he's the crazy one. He's gonna like get up, be yelling, doing all that stuff, so yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna show you a little video just for like reference. Tell me what you were thinking walking onto the floor of the kennel for the first time officially as a Zag.
Oh, I was like, I was thinking a lot of stuff, man. It was, this moment right here, I was just happy, you know. I was just so happy, like, I can't even like express, I was just grateful, you know, and like, you could see like I think it was Snacks that was sitting down. I think I shook his hand, and then like B. Smith and all them. I was just happy to be out there with them. You know, it was like it's time for us to like have a season, literally like one of those seasons where like everyone's gonna remember.
Obviously, it's unfortunate that things came so down to the wire, and I assume very stressful. But again, going back to what we talked about at the beginning, the fact that you literally left the courtroom to come out and play a storybook ending, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's just, that was crazy. I think that's the first time in history that's happened. I don't know, from the courtroom to the court, you know, that was, I seen people talking about that, and, you know, it was just, like I said, it was just an amazing feeling to be able to be able to do that. So it was just amazing.
You mentioned this earlier with your health, that you didn't want that to be what you're known for. Obviously, this situation with the NCAA had a lot of people know your name from that as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, and what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be, only reason I said I don't want it to be that, because my first like 2 years at GCU, my first year at GCU, that's all it was about, you know, which understandable. But then I go back and it's still like, okay, even though the season I had before is still like, oh, that is everything, you know. I don't want to be remembered as, which, I mean, the story is crazy, it's great. I'm not saying anything that's not it, but just like I want to be remembered as like a great basketball player, you know, like not just a basketball player, but like a great kid who like everyone loves to be around, like joyful. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, a sad story every time like my name's brought up, you know, so like that's it.
Do you feel like you have ownership over that?
Yes, for sure. Like I definitely tried my best to like, okay, my first year at GCU, we were having like a great year. Like I think we won like 16 games in a row. And like, I wanted it to be about that. I didn't want it to be about me. you know? So like we would have media, and I would like, if we're doing, like I've told my story so much at the beginning of the season, it's like dang in the middle of the season, I don't want to talk about that anymore. You know, I want to talk about like our season and how our team is doing. You know, I don't want it just to be like it's about me. It's about our school and our team and how good we're playing right now.
So outside of me literally asking you these questions and the rest of the media, moving forward, how much do you think about the hours in the courtroom or your heart condition, if at all?
I mean, I don't really think about the courtroom. The only thing about the courtroom is that was like my first time ever being in a courtroom. So other than that, I don't really think about it. Like I said, my health, that's something I try to forget about just because I don't, like I said, I don't want to put a wall up for myself, you know, and I feel like I'm fine, you know, I don't feel any differently. So that's about it.
A big part of the eligibility was about your future, obviously, and your NBA dreams and all of that. You know, a decision that affects further than just this year of eligibility.
Yeah.
It affects your whole career, potentially. Now that you know that door is like open in a sense, what are your expectations for yourself and what are you most excited for the future?
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so right now I'm excited for the game we play against Oklahoma. That's what I'm excited for, you know, winning that game. So I feel like we win that game, then that makes my future so much better. So that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Guys, anything you want to add?
You've had so many teammates, but you seem to speak so highly of Graham. What has he done?
Oh, G's done a lot. You know, before when I first committed, G hit me up. First player team to hit me up. You know, and this was way before we knew anything about like what was going on, the waivers, all of that. Like he hit me up, and like he's been very confident in me since I got here, since I committed, you know, and that's just, I feel like that's just something I needed, you know, like he knew, we've had conversations about like just the winning basketball here and what we can do, like you said, for our future and everything, and you know, that's just stuck with me. Like he's an amazing person, amazing teammate, a guy that I see like we'll be good friends for a long time after Gonzaga.
I did think of another thing. A lot of times after injuries, players talk about, you know, seeing the game differently after sitting out a year or something like that. You touched on this earlier, but how has your perspective just on life changed with like the hard things that you've gone through? Because a lot of people would be like, I realize it's a sport and it's in this category and there's more to life and whatever, which can be true, but it's also a massive part of your life and your dreams.
Nah, it is. But one thing that I tell people, you know, basketball is a sport. It is my life, you know, but it's not everything, you know. It is a huge, I love it, you know, like I haven't loved a lot of things in my life, you know, but basketball, I love it, you know. But it's like you can't just center yourself around this one thing, because what if that's just gone? Now what are you, or who are you? You know, how can you, is basketball the only way that you affected the world? Is that the only reason people knew you? You know, so what I tell people is yes. Well, I told my teammates this, I said, yes, like, when you're here, when we're here working out every day and lifting, you know that, like, this is all your main focus, you know? But, you know, when you leave, like, you can go have fun. Like, you can go live your life, like, because one day, basketball won't be here anymore, you know? And that's something that I had to realize, and it helped me, like, when I had to sit out, it really helped me, like, learn life and really learn more about myself, about what I like, what I actually want to do when I'm done playing basketball, you know? So basketball is everything, but make sure you have a life outside of it too.
What do you want to do after you're done?
I like movies, so like I kind of want to get into, I'm not acting, you know, but not acting, but I kind of want to get into like movies. I want to do real estate, you know. I kind of just want to get into, obviously, like coaching. I want to have like a team and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that I learned about myself that I want to do after basketball.
That's awesome. Lastly, was there ever a point after your initial collapse where you thought maybe basketball wouldn't be on the table, or was that ever in conversation?
All the time. All the time. I mean, but like I said, that was with my mom. Like she was, like my family, like helped me so much during that time period, because it's like I didn't know like what to do at the time, you know, and it was like I was just stuck in a place that I've never been before. And it was like, my mom literally she would just feel it. You know, I wouldn't even have to say nothing. Like, I'll be smiling and she'd feel it. She'd be like, it's gonna be okay. She'd be like, you're gonna play basketball again. And then that would just help me so much. Like, and then my big brother, Reese, he'd be like, bro, it's not over. Like, you good. If it is, we talk about it, but he was like, bro, it's not over. So it was just a lot. My family really like helped me do that.
But for you personally, it wasn't a decision. It was like, if I can play, I will.
No, yeah, for sure. Like if once they told me like I could play again, oh, it was over. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
How long was the wait till you found that out?
Like, so I missed 2 full seasons. Obviously I played like 9 minutes or something that game. And then I missed that whole season. And then I missed the whole next season. And then I think I didn't get cleared until March. And then that was the year I went to GCU. So the March before, what was it, 2023? I think 2023, yeah. And then I ended up going to GCU after that.
Okay. So they never said like, oh, for sure, it'll just be at this date. It was always a moving target.
Yeah, it was always like I had to get doctor's appointments and like just go do tests and like, yeah, it was so much stuff.
I mean, what does that say about you and your game that coaches were willing to, you know, take that risk that, I don't know, like hopefully he gets cleared, but like if he does, we want him. No,
I'll give a big shout out to my guy, Coach Jamal Walker. He is at Ohio State right now, but he was there my first year at GCU. And, you know, we had a relationship before that, but, you know, the fact that he believed in me coming to GCU just after sitting out for 2 years, you know, I just feel like that gave me an extra little oomph going there, because like we don't know, you haven't played basketball in 2 years, and then when you did play basketball, you didn't play really. So just the way he believed in me, that really gave me that motivation to go in and just, you know, help make him proud. So I give him a huge shout out.
That's awesome. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you want to touch on?
Nah, I touched on everything for real. Talk about everything.
It really might have been 60 minutes.
For
I don't
sure.
know.
We're all out an hour.